Welcome to today's Explainer. We're building a psychological playbook for anyone out there earning 2 to 5 million rupiah who genuinely feels like saving is just a mathematical impossibility. If you're feeling constantly broke and the idea of a savings account sounds like a joke someone else invented, well, you are exactly where you need to be. Listen, it's incredibly exhausting to feel like you're working so hard just to survive, constantly running on this financial treadmill where no matter how fast you go, you stay in the exact same place. Today, we're going to step off that treadmill.
Here is our roadmap. We're going to cover the trap, track everything, find the leak, digital envelopes, green wealth, and finally, psychology and lifestyle creep. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. The trap. Why you feel broke.
So why does saving actually feel completely impossible? Look, when you stare at your paycheck and then at your expenses, the gap is just insanely tight, right? For most young adults in Indonesia, bringing in between 2 and 5 million rupiahs a month, once the rent is handled and the food is bought, that gap isn't just tricky, it honestly feels impossible. You add in inflation, the crazy rising cost of living in cities like Jakarta or Surabaya, and just the daily pressure of existing, hitting the 25th of the month can honestly induce pure panic.
Well, we actually need to completely reframe your reality here. You're not failing at saving your leftover cash. You just haven't built a behavior yet. The trap is thinking that savings is just leftover money. Believing that savings come from whatever happens to miraculously be left in your wallet at the end of the month. Let me tell you, if you treat saving as an afterthought, there is absolutely going to be zero left to save. The actual truth? Saving is a behavior built before expenses even happen. It's the concept of paying yourself first, even when your brain is screaming that you can afford it.
And the real core of this whole issue? Your money is currently invisible. You earn cash, you spend it, and poof, it vanishes into thin air. Think about it. Those quick convenience store snacks, the random parking fees, or those tiny GoPay or OVO balances that just kind of drain away on things you literally cannot remember buying the next day? If you don't know where every single rupiah is flowing on a daily basis, you simply can't manage it. It's slipping right through your fingers. We absolutely have to make the invisible visible.
Section 2. Track everything. Your 7-day challenge.
Now, don't change your spending habits just yet. We need a completely realistic baseline of your actual life. Step 1. Literally just open the free Notes app on your phone. Step 2. Record the exact numbers for 7 straight days. Why manually type it out instead of using some fancy automated app? Because typing it creates this tiny bit of friction. It forces you to be mindful. If a coffee is 15,000 dah or your transport is 10,000 dah, write it down the absolute second you pay. Then step 3, add it all up at the end of the week. Honestly, you're going to be shocked by what you discover.
Section 3. Find your leak. Redirecting invisible money. Okay, once you have your data from those 7 days, you're hunting down the one thing eating your money without you noticing. Everyone has a leak. For example, say you're spending 100,000 rupiah weekly on a food delivery app. But if you just cooked at home or grabbed food from a local warung, it might only cost you 40,000. Boom, you just found your first major leak. By plugging that single hole, you instantly create a 240,000 rupiah savings account every month. Think about that for a second. If you're making $2 million a month, that 240,000 is over 10% of your total income just magically appearing because you tweaked one habit. You didn't have to work extra hours, you just redirected the invisible money that was already there.
Section 4. The digital envelope. Automating the habit.
So, now that you've found that leak, we need to hide the money immediately. The secret is moving that newly discovered 240,000 rupiah completely automatically. Here's the play. Open a separate bank account, ideally at a totally different bank, and make absolutely sure you do not have a debit card attached to it. Why no debit card? Because we want to build a giant brick wall of friction between your impulse control and your savings. If you get an urge for a spontaneous purchase, you literally can't just swipe for it. You'd have to physically go to a bank or navigate a super annoying transfer process. Then, set up an automatic transfer of 50,000 or 100,000 rupiah the absolute second your paycheck hits. You can't spend what you can't easily access.
Section 5. Green wealth. Save energy, save money.
I want you to think about this massive number. 450,000 rupiah. That is literally how much you can save in a single month just by swapping out a 15,000 daily plastic water bottle habit for bringing your own reusable one. Again, context is absolutely huge here. If your salary is 3 million rupiah, saving 450,000 is basically giving yourself a 15% raise, and you didn't even have to ask your boss for it. These aren't deep,
painful sacrifices we're talking about. They're just highly efficient habits. Walking short distances instead of calling a ride, switching off lights, bringing your own water. Your wallet and the planet both get a massive win here.
Section 6. Psychology and Lifestyle Creep, the final boss.
Okay, let's talk about brain chemistry for a second. Your initial goal should be to aim for just 100,000 rupiah. Hitting that first, totally manageable milestone releases this massive dopamine hit in your brain. But more importantly, it actually shifts your self-identity. You go from thinking, I'm someone who is always broke, to, hey, I'm actually a saver. Seeing that first 100K become real gives you such a deep sense of accomplishment. That identity shift is the exact momentum that makes month 2 super easy, and suddenly you're staring at 600,000 in 6 months and easily over 1.2 million in a year.
Because really, building a savings habit is a whole lot like going to the gym. If you try to run a marathon on your very first day of training, your body's just going to give up. If you try to force some fantasy budget where you save $500,000 right out of the gate when your margins are razor thin, your brain will absolutely quit by week 2. Small, realistic wins trigger dopamine. Trying to save 500K when you only realistically have 100K available, your brain just throws in the towel. That's why we rely entirely on the psychology of tiny, undeniable wins to keep you motivated without burning out.
But watch out, because here is the final trap: lifestyle creep. This is that incredibly dangerous habit of increasing your spending just because you suddenly have a little money saved, which completely destroys your financial progress. Once you start seeing those 300,000 to 500,000 rupiah balances sitting safely in your digital envelope, you're going to feel an urge to upgrade your lifestyle. You must fight that urge. This is the exact moment most people self-sabotage and reset their progress all the way back to zero. Just because you have a little extra cushion does not mean you can afford to start buying things you couldn't before. Keep the exact same habits, keep the exact same spending, and just let that account quietly grow in the background.
So there it is. You now have the complete system. Track the invisible money, plug that leak, and automate your digital envelope with some healthy friction. The power to change your financial reality isn't really about earning more tomorrow. It's completely about managing what is already in your hands today. You've got the tools, and the roadmap is crystal clear. So I'll leave you with this one final thought. 30 days from now, will your savings still be zero?